Race 7 at Mt Panorama in Bathurst promised to be an interesting event, testing the drivers' skill and commitment as they came across the top of and down the mountain. A familiar pole sitter emerged from qualifying in Xeris, followed by Stairs in second and Radar in third. Radar had completely missed the light going green and by the first bend had dropped down as low as 6th. Green Jupiter had some contact with Fox and Bagsy coming around turn 1 and ended up in the wall, but luckily got away without any damage. ARW then went wide at turn 2, allowing both Stairs and Goofball to gain a position each. The field's journey through the Dipper on lap 1 was near perfect, with no one making any massive mistakes. The same couldn't be said at Forest's Elbow, when James got sideways and cut across in front of Radar, nearly causing a pile-up. He was also lucky to get away without any damage. Bagsy made 2 positions at the cutting, while Aerial Fox managed to pick up 1, but wasn't quite quick enough to get by James. Meanwhile, Goofball was about to lose control on turn 1 of lap 2, allowing Rambo and Radar to get by. Goofball wouldn't have to wait long to get a position back though, as Rambo makes another mistake on turn 2. And right behind them, Fox has just made an error through turn 2, which drops him 1 position. Rambo was now copping pressure from Bagsy for 5th position, and it was a tight race down the mountain. But he got on the gas a little early at Forest's Elbow and ended up in the wall, losing his front wing and dropping down to last. On lap 3 we got a very cryptic radio message from Mono Man. We're still unsure what the words think, getting, hang and track are code for. On lap 4 the battle between Goof and Rambo was getting intense. But Rambo pushed a little bit too hard across Skyline and ended up in the wall, losing his front wing. The following lap though, Goofball would make a mistake heading into the S's and lose his rear wing. He would pit for repairs at the end of this lap. Goofball came out of his pit stop in 11th and found himself behind Nether, who would also pit for repairs. But Nether would make a mistake in the same position Goofball had on the previous lap, and both would collide, losing their front wings. Nether pits for a new front wing the next lap on lap 7, while Goofball persists until lap 8. On lap 9, Radar makes up some lost time by passing Madbird for 3rd position, and starts to pull away. But on lap 12, Radar makes a mistake at the entrance to the notorious S's, and gives Madbird a chance to make up some precious seconds. Later on lap 12, Stairs laps Goofball, who's a lap down, and also has James to pass. James slows through the cutting to allow Stairs through, and Goofball spots an opportunity to make a place. After a protest from James, Goofball hands the position back. Goofball then makes a pass attempt on James at turn 1, knowing it's their final lap. James won't give up 10th position that easily though, and draws alongside Goofball to make a move into turn 2. They're side by side through turn 2, and Goofball holds the inside line for turn 3. He brakes early for the cutting, and manages to come through ahead of James, who clips the wall and starts to lose some time. Goofball looks to have 10th position all sewn up, until he makes a mistake at Reed Park and loses his front wing again. Looks like he'll have to settle for 11th. Cirrus stayed mistake-free for most of the race and crossed the line to take the win. Stairs would finish behind him in 2nd, and Radar, after a few mistakes, managed to finish in 3rd position. There were still 7 more laps to complete, with race 2 yet to be run. Bang would start on pole, with Nether in 2nd and Green Jupiter in 3rd. Radar would come off worst through turn 1, clipping James and dropping back to 13th position. Rambo would repeat his earlier errors through turn 2 though, and he would end up dropping down to last place. The pack's trip down the mountain was again quite incident-free. That is until Forest Elbow, where Nether slid, collected Fox, and Bagsy got caught up in the mess. There was a great mass of cars about to come through the chase all at once. Mono would stay too far inside, get some wheels on the grass, and go deep into the sand trap. This would cause him to retire from the race. Madbird passed Bang at Murray's Corner and finished lap 1 in 1st position. As lap 3 started, Goofball missed his braking point for turn 1 and went deep into the sand trap. He got very stuck. Meanwhile, up the road, a battle for 2nd position was developing between Stairs and Cirrus, with Radar waiting patiently behind. And Goofball was still desperately trying to get out of the sand trap. Also on lap 3, Rambo was hounding Bagsy for 6th position and would get it at the chase. Goofball's day was about to go from bad to worse as his engine overheats and catches fire, forcing him to retire from the race. On lap 4, Madbird lost the lead to Stairs as they approached turn 2. He then lost second position to Xeris as they exited turn 2. Desperate to hold on to position, he manages to hold off Radar, for the time being at least. Stairs doesn't hold the lead for long though, as he makes a mistake approaching Forrest's elbow. He was lucky to get away without any damage. Radar is putting all his pressure on Madbird by this point, and they're side by side through the chase. Madbird goes a little bit too deep, gets some wheels on the grass, and ends up losing third position, despite putting in a brilliant effort to keep Radar at bay. Adrift of that battle, Rambo was pushing James for 5th. They collide coming out of the chase, and Rambo spins, dropping back to 7th. A few corners later, Bagsy makes a clean pass on James for 5th. But later that same lap, James takes the position back along Conrod Straight. On the penultimate lap, Madbird crashes at Reed Park and loses his rear wing. In an effort to avoid pitting for repairs, he slowly makes his way back to the start-finish line, hoping to be passed by the leaders so he doesn't have to complete the final lap. Meanwhile, at the bottom of the mountain, Bagsy and James are still battling for 5th position, this time with Bagsy ahead. On the final lap, James loses control at Skyline and ends up without a front wing, but still manages to stay ahead of Rambo. He manages to hold position until the chase, where Rambo takes him under braking. There's not enough track left for Rambo to catch Bagsy though, so he has to make do with 5th, while Bagsy takes 4th and James 6th. Xeris makes it 2 from 2 for round 4, and crosses the line to win race 8, narrowly avoiding a crippled Madbird. Stairs takes home another 2nd place, while Radar makes it an identical top 3 from race 7 and comes in 3rd. That's it for us at Mt Panorama. Join us next week when we head west to another challenging track in Adelaide for round 5 of the ARW Formula 3 Championship.